Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Victoria Ayodelefa. If it's your first time here, thank you so much for joining me. If you're a new subscriber, you know I love you, you know I appreciate you so much. Thank you for always coming back. Okay, so today I'm very excited to share the topic for today because I've had a number of people reach out to me recently about the fact that they're not enjoying sex in their marriage and all of that. In short, I just cancelled the person. By the way, if you'd like to have a one-on-one session with me, there is a link below where we can have a conversation one-on-one. So I just had one with a person and you know it's the same story, and especially Christians, right? Especially Christians, many of us are not, you know, or many of you are not enjoying sex in your marriage, right? So if you are one of those people that believe that, oh, there's nothing about sex, it is overrated, you know, people talk too much about it, you know, you're generally not enjoying intimacy in your marriage, then this video is definitely for you. And if you're a man and your wife is not, or you're a woman and you know the man is not, or you yourself you're not, I think that this video will definitely be helpful to you. So make sure that you keep on watching. Okay, all right, we are going through the reasons and I'm just going to get right into it, right? So the first reason that I have that you might not be enjoying intimacy in your marriage is that, and this I think is very, very particular to a lot of Christians, right, is the fact that many of us see sex as an obligation. Yes, and that happened to me. I know when I just got married, especially with women, right, we are told you have to give your husband, you know, as much as he wants it and stuff like that. And it gets to a point where, you know, even as newlyweds, and this is not even just particular to people who have been married for a while, but even as newlyweds, you get there putting so much pressure on yourself that you want to give yourself to this person. You know, we see it as something that you have to do and not something that, you know, is enjoyable, something that you both give to each other, something that, you know, it's a beautiful thing that God has created. Many of us, or many women especially, we've come to that point. Even it happens with men where you think, oh, let me just satisfy him or let me just satisfy her, and that's all we see about sex, as an obligation, as a task, right? So if you find yourself, you know, maybe ask yourself, what truly is sex to you? How do you see sex? What's your mindset about it? Are you still stuck in that ideology that sex is just, it's an obligation, it's something that I have to do? You have to get your mind out. That is probably why you're not enjoying it, right? And that's why you hear a lot of people saying, oh, you know, sex is one of those things you have to do in marriage. You know, women don't necessarily have to enjoy sex. It's because they are not. Because trust me, if you are, you will never have that mindset. Okay, so yeah, seeing sex as an obligation is one of the reasons why a lot of Christians especially, and a lot of women generally, are not enjoying sex in their marriage. Okay, now the second reason that I have here is that you don't know what turns you on. And this is so true for a lot of women. Yes, and I'm talking about married people now. Okay, if you're single, you have no business with this yet, unless of course, and see, even as singles, you kind of know, you know, especially when you are in, you know, ovulating, and you know, we all have times in the month or times, you know, during the month where we start to feel sexual sensations, right? And you kind of know what area in your body, you know, that sensation is stronger in, right? So some people, you know, you might feel some kind of tenderness in the, you know, the boobs area. For other people, you know, it's the labia area. For some other people, it's, you know, maybe somebody just touches your neck or touches your hand anyhow, you know, it sends electricity around your body, right? Those are some of the ways that you kind of know that, okay, maybe this works for me. I'm not saying that you start to practicalize these things before you get married, but in marriage, the idea of intimacy in marriage is that we are both getting to know each other. You're getting to know my body, I'm getting to know your body, but also you knowing my body, I am discovering things about my body, right? But what you realize is that a lot of women don't even know what part of their body enhances their, you know, their drive. And that's probably because, you know, when it's time for sex, you just go straight to the point. You don't spend time. And when I talk about this, you don't spend time in exploring your body. You don't spend time in, you know, trying to get to know your body whilst the two of you are in it, right? You're so, and I think this happens in a lot of Christian homes, right? We are so rigid about the act, right? This is how it's supposed to be done. This is where I enter. This is, you know, what and what, and you know, these are only the parts that are involved. But you need to know your body, right? And that will happen when the two of you are in it, right? You try certain places, you know, kisses certain places. It's not every time is mouth kiss. Try to kiss other areas just to see, right? I remember, you know, when I also got married, of course, before I got married, I knew certain places in my body that are extra sensitive at certain times. But, you know, just by playing around, you know, my husband would touch, you know, you know, your body will just shake one guy. I remember I was like, yes, let me note it down, right? And I got to know those things, right? So that's what I'm saying, right? That you need to know what spots in your body, your erogenous spots, and all of that. But a lot of women don't know, and a lot of guys too, you know, probably don't also know. So that's something that you probably want to take note of, okay? And if your wife is not enjoying it, maybe you should try do exploring of the body just to see what awakens that in her, right? And sometimes it's, oh no, we'll get to that. All right, the next thing that I have here is you're too afraid to try something new. And this is so true with a lot of people that I've spoken with. When you ask them, so what styles do you guys do, they would, especially if you're struggling with maybe pain, or maybe it's your first time, or it's your, you know, you guys are new to the act, right? If you're in pain, you get afraid to do a lot of other things, right? I was stuck in one position that was not giving me pleasure for over 6 months in marriage, even though my husband kept imploring me to like try something else, move, you know, do something else. But I'm like, no, even this one is grace of God. It's grace of God and vibes. That why is it to do this for you want me to no, John, let's just keep on doing this, right? But it wasn't helping me, and it was not making the pain go either, because that style was not just doing it for me, right? But many of us are so stuck, and especially if you're feeling pain and you're having discomfort and stuff, you just want to stay in your comfort zone. But trust me, the pain is not going to go away if you don't actually push yourself, okay? Try something new, and especially if you're not enjoying it. I remember I said that, you know, the female body is so complicated, right? You know, certain things that you think, oh, is normal, if you I mean, once the thing enter the thing, you're supposed to feel good. It doesn't work that way, okay? I don't know if this was true, but there was a story going around on WhatsApp one time of a woman who has been married, she has children, and she has never had orgasm in her life until she was raped by thieves who came to like break into her house and stuff. And that was the first time in her life that she had orgasm, right? That would never be any of our portion, okay? Oh, this musician has started with his songs. If you guys hear any noise, please pardon the noise. I have a musician DJ upstairs that yeah, anyway, so that is one of the reasons why a lot of people are not enjoying sex in their marriage, because you are too afraid to try something new. You're too afraid to go out of your comfort zone. Stop, try as much as possible to go out of missionary, right? What I notice is that, okay, sometimes you are so comfortable with one particular style, which, you know, for a lot of people is missionary, right? But what you can also do is, you know, when you start, especially if you're having pain and all, you can always start with the one that you're comfortable with. But the moment that, you know, your body, because that's the thing with, you know, intimacy, the moment it's, especially if you're dealing with pain, right, the entrance is always like the wahala, right? But once the entrance has entered, right, and you know he's in you, your body relaxed, your muscle relaxes, the you know, the excitement starts. When you get to that place where you're comfortable, then try something else, okay? You don't have to go with something radical, right? And I'm gonna say, like, a lot of styles that we see, you know, yeah, some of them can be very, very, you know, especially if you're new to the art, right, it can be hurting and all of that. But try something, right? When you try it doesn't work, try something else, right? So because you try, and I remember the first time that I tried something new, it was not okay for me, so I decided not to try any other thing. But trust me, the time that I actually decided, okay, I want to actually be committed to trying new things and actually practice what I preach, it became amazing, right? And I realized that, oh my God, they're actually, you know, the reason I've not been enjoying it is because I've not tried this and that actually helps, right? So when you're so rigid in, you know, because of maybe pain, because of whatever, you know, mindset and all of that, you don't go out and actually explore each other's body and try something new, you get stuck and you end up not enjoying it, okay? So that's definitely something that you would definitely want to work on, okay? All right, the fourth thing that I'm gonna say is that you are in pain, right? You're in pain, and that's the thing. Nobody likes pain, okay? And especially if, you know, sex hurts. And I know that because when, you know, I also we just started, and you know, the pain was unbearable. I was not in the mood, right? I was not in the mood because sex became like a chore to me, right? So when you're constantly in pain, that's definitely a turn off. But that's the thing also, you cannot just use that as an excuse, right? So I was speaking to a lady yesterday, and she was also telling me that she's been married for 8 months, but the pain has not stopped. I remember I've already shared on this channel that, you know, it took me, you know, a year to actually eventually totally stop feeling pain when doing it, right? So pain is definitely one of the reasons, you know, why, and you need to discover why you're having those pain and where that pain is. Because I remember the first thing I asked her was, where are you feeling the pain exactly? And thankfully she was able to show me, you know, the picture and tell me where it was. That's the, oh, okay, I also used to feel pain in that area, but this is what I did to stop it, right? So that kind of consultation is not free, okay? If you want to have that conversation with me, register below, okay? Yeah, or you can just send me a DM. I will definitely respond, okay? But I just feel like when we have a one-on-one discussion, I'll be able to like tell you, you know, tailor the advice to you. But anyways, what was I saying? Yes, so she was feeling pain in certain area. I'm like, okay, this, I also did had that pain in that area. This is what I did, right? So you need to first of all know where exactly is the pain. Some people don't feel pain in the, you know, vaginal area itself. It's internal, and that's a different one we'll talk about, right? That might be caused by different things, okay? And we'll talk about those ones also, right? So basically know where exactly the pain is coming from, and then if you know, do something about it, okay? Talk to somebody, read up about it. A lot of us are so lazy, we don't make research, right? Especially when it comes, you will learn so much by just going to Google and finding out, why am I feeling pain in this area? And I know, like, you know, it can be scary sometimes. Google can tell you things that, you know, are not necessarily true or there, but you will also learn a lot, right? So there are, and if you know, there are some groups also that might really help on social media, like women's group, you know, that also helps. They have conversations like that, like forums, you know, online, that you can also join, you know, and you can also reach out, okay? Yeah, so pain is one of the reasons why, you know, you're probably not enjoying sex. So like I said, look for where the pain is and walk around it. If you're having pain in the vaginal area, remember, lubricant is your best option. Don't force it, okay? Don't force it in. If you force it in, you will get bruised, you will get, you know, it will take a longer time, because the moment you think you're doing it, you know, you're not. And the other reason why the pain is prolonged is that because of the pain, you are not doing it, you are avoiding sex. But the more you avoid it, the more you have the pain. So sometimes you have to, you know, man up, use lubricant, right? Be patient. And I've said it a lot in, you know, the videos that I've done. You cannot rush it, especially when it has to do with pain. You have to be patient, take your time. The last video I did about, you know, helping navigating pain during sex, go and watch, because I was so explicit in that video, and I know that that video has everything that you need to enjoy sex in your marriage. I'm going to link it up. I'm going to link it up here. So yeah, look for that video, okay? The fifth thing I'm gonna say is that the reason why you don't enjoy it is because you are not adequately turned on. And yes, the truth is that it's not every time the menstruation is about to happen that you'll probably be adequately turned on, because you might not be the one feeling it might be your partner, right? So sometimes we just do it to help, and then, you know, you end up enjoying it, right? So if you're not adequately turned on every time that you're having intimacy, then there's a problem. That's probably why you're not enjoying it. If you don't actually feel like doing it when you do it, that might be a reason. So like I said, explore each other's body. Foreplay is very, very important. Spend time doing foreplay. Like I said, you don't have to do the deed every time you do foreplay, okay? So sometimes let the body be tensed up, okay? So one thing that me and my husband used to do then is, like, we do all the play and all the play around, but we don't do the thing, right? Tomorrow we do all the play around until, you know, especially me, I've gotten to that place where I'm like, okay, no, enough of the play around, let's get down to business, right? And it helps because your body is anticipating, your body is tensed up, your body is like, go get it, okay? But when you're always in a rush, every time you want to go inside, it's not every time you go inside. Calm down, okay? And trust me, when you get your body to that place of, you know, excitement, it is even more exciting when the act finally happens, okay? So yeah. All right, the next thing that I am going to talk about is hormonal issues. Hormonal issues could be, one of the reasons. And if you suffer from PCOS, and all of those things, hormones can be crazy. Hormones can make you dry down there, and when you're dry down there, you need a lot of lubricant. If you don't use lubricant, sex is painful. Okay, hormones can also affect you mentally. You might not just be in the mood no matter how much you try and all of that. So if you're having hormonal imbalance, that's something you maybe want to check. Okay, go to your endocrinologist and check your hormonal level. If you're having trouble getting turned on, it might be maybe because you have too much testosterone. Okay, I am not a doctor, this is not a medical advice, but go and check to ensure that you have all your hormones balanced. And if you're not, or if they are not, maybe you want to try to, I'm going to talk about some, anyways, your doctor will advise you on what to do. Okay, all right, the next thing that I have here is one of the reasons you're also not enjoying it is because of stress. And this is physical stress, mental stress, psychological stress. It could be relational stress, it could be anything. Okay, if you're under a lot of stress, remember I said, and I've said it over and over again, sex is first in the mind. It starts from the mind. If your mind is not in it, you will definitely not enjoy it. Okay, so you have to condition your mind that, okay, we're actually enjoying this process. Sometimes in your mind you have to, like, visualize from your mind perspective. Okay, yeah, you have to use your mind, engage your mind. Okay, engage your mind. And I think it's something that we don't talk enough about, right? Like, sex is in the mind. Sometimes when you and your partner are in the mood, engage your minds. Okay, role play if you have to. Just imagine the two of you doing things that you necessarily are not doing at that moment, but it just causes excitement. Use your mind to excite your body. Okay, that's what I'm going to say about that. Okay, so yeah, I'm saying that stress, if you're stressed physically, it's going to affect you. And I think another thing that we also don't talk much about is if you're stressed relationally. If there's something going on in your marriage, if your husband is cheating on you or your wife is cheating on you, if you're not happy with him, or her, that can definitely affect your sex life. Okay, so you want to make sure that whatever issues, and yeah, there's makeup sex. And there's some weird people also that I know of that it's when they are fighting that the drive increases. Whatever works for you, boo. Okay, just make sure that you're not under any form of stress, mentally, physically, whatever way. Okay, just make sure that and if your wife is stressed out, you don't expect her to come and open up for you in the bed, right? So if you want to ensure that she enjoys it, help her out in the house. Okay, I realize that I'm more even if I wasn't, right, and my husband helps out in the house, helps me to do the dishes, helps me to cook and stuff like that, it has a way of just making your body feel excited, right? So that's what I'm saying. So guys, don't just, you come back from work, you sit down, your wife has gone to work all day, she's in the kitchen cooking, you are not helping out, those things does not help. So at the end of the night, the two of you clean the kitchen together, help her to take away anything that might make her to be stressed the following day. Tuck the kids into bed, do whatever you need to do to make her happy, right? And we women, if there's anything we are good at, is showing appreciation. Okay, yeah, so if you're stressed, that might also be one of the reasons. So you need to find out, are you stressed relationally? Is your partner cheating on you? Is your partner making you unhappy? Is that that might be one of the reasons why. And some women, right, because and I've seen women that their husband is cheating on them, so they try and put so much pressure on themselves to be good in bed for him that they are not even enjoying it themselves. So they are so focused on the person and not on their own enjoyment, right? So figure it out. Okay, another could be medical issues. Yes, and this could be especially for women. I can't really speak for men. Maybe if ever not if ever, when me and my husband does a video, we'll probably talk about this, right? But I know definitely for women, one of the reasons, and this could also be associated with why you're having pains, especially if you're having pains in the pelvic floor area, right? So it could be cyst, it could be endometriosis, it could be fibroids, it could be anything, right? So when you are feeling pain during intimacy. And this is not, sometimes when a guy is rough on you, you will definitely have pain under, in your pelvic area. But this is not when he's rough. This is just generally you're feeling pain in the pelvic area. It could be because of any of this. So you definitely need to go and see your doctor, okay, just to find out, why am I having pain in the pelvic floor or the pelvic area when I am having intimacy. So if you're having that, it could be a medical condition. Another thing could also be that medically associated, could also be that you are on a medication. There are some medication, and a lot of people don't know this, right? I know I've heard of a number of women who they are on hormonal medications, right? Maybe IUI or IUDs or whatever. Did I say IUI? IUDs, yeah. Anyways, they are on one of those or they are using the pill, right? If you're using morning after pill and you realize suddenly, especially if you were enjoying sex before the pills, so you need to always monitor your body, right? When did this stop? When did it change? It could just be a lifestyle change that is causing it, especially if you have any kind of inflammation inside of you. And inflammation is general, it could be anything, and a number of people have inflammation, you just don't know. And the reason why we have inflammation sometimes is because of the things that we eat. Yes. The things we consume also affect our sexual health, right? So you may want to read about it, right? And that's some things that you probably need to take note of. I've read a lot about women who have to eliminate a few things from their diet. I've had to eliminate a few things from my diet, okay, and I've seen how drastically that has affected my my sexual health and my sex life with my partner. So basically you need to if you're having endometriosis and cyst, if you don't want to go under the knife, right, there are lifestyle changes that needs to be done or that needs to be made, and I'm not going to advise you on that. You can read up on it, you can make your research, you can ask your doctor, right? So there are certain meals that you need to take away, totally eliminate from your diet and or replace, right? So for instance, and this is just a general example, right? So maybe you are used to taking cow milk and all, and you might want to replace it with plant-based milk. Sometimes you might need to stop vegetable oil and replace it with olive oil and stuff like that. Just make sure that you read up, first of all go to your doctor, get medical advice, find out what is wrong, and then you can make your research and realize, okay, what are the lifestyle changes? And I know it can be so difficult for you to make lifestyle changes, and it always looks like, how can somebody live without milk? Okay, we take milk with everything and stuff, but you realize that the moment you start and you find alternative, you see that it's not really that bad. Sometimes just what we've been used to growing up, the things we're used to eating and consuming, we cannot see ourselves doing without it. But trust me, you can do without them, right? So if you're having issues like that, you might want to do a total elimination of some food, or reduction of some food, or replacement of certain things that you eat, and also exercise. Yes, exercise really helps, okay? There are certain exercise that helps your pelvic muscles, right? So if you are struggling with pain in that area and stuff, you might want to also read up about those to help you. Yeah, okay. Okay, another point that I have here is that you are too afraid to ask for what you want. It's either maybe you and your partner, you're not free to talk about, a lot of people have fantasies and have certain things that they think would help, or things that they fantasize about, right? Why can't you talk to your partner about it and you guys walk around it? Now, I'm not talking, there are some fantasies that needs to be put under subjection. I've talked about BDSM and all those perverse things. If you are feeling that way, that someone has to beat you, throw you away, do this, do that, you need deliverance. This is not on your partner, this is on you. You need deliverance, my dear. You need to pray about it, right? And I'm not even joking. You need to really pray about it. And that's, see, guys, there is nothing that prayer cannot do. Guys, there is absolutely nothing that prayer cannot do. So if you find yourself feeling a certain way, you're not enjoying sex and stuff, pray about it. I'm telling you, the things that the Holy Spirit has told me to the Holy Spirit gives instructions. And when I was struggling a lot with sex in my marriage, I could say that the Holy Spirit helped me 80% than my own research and my own whatever helped me, right? So sometimes they will tell me, you need to do this and that, I'll just have a feeling or a leading in my spirit to do that. I'm like, where did this one come from? I beg. And then I'll read about it and be like, wait, is this not what my spirit was trying to tell me and stuff like that? So anyways, pray about it, pray for direction, pray for inspiration, And God will lead you to things, and He will keep on leading you and knocking it in your head and do this, do this, do this until you do it, okay? If you surrender yourself to Him. Anyway, so what was I saying? So medical issues, right? No, that's not what. You're too afraid to ask for what you want. Don't be afraid. I mean, you guys are one. Your body belongs to Him. His body belongs to you. If you're not enjoying it, and if you're a guy or you're a lady, guys mostly, okay? Do a conference, right? So before this, our long distance marriage thing, me and my husband used to do this thing at the end on our anniversary. We actually analyze, okay, was I satisfying you financially? Was I good? Was I satisfying you relationally? What are some of the things that I need to improve on? And then sexually, do you think that you were satisfied? What do I need to work on? What do I, maybe you don't even have to wait till the end of the year. I don't have to wait. Whenever I feel like, okay, I think that there's something up, I let him know. And the same thing for him. So you guys need to be open. That's why I said, I marry your friend. See, if you're married to your friend, most of these things it's mostly so 80% solved already, right? So it's a matter of, guy, that thing you did yesterday, I didn't really feel it, okay? I think that, you should do this and this because I'm not enjoying it, okay? And I think we need to do something about it, right? So you need to marry someone that you're open to having this kind of conversation with. And a lot of people don't have a conversation because they are too afraid of hurting their feelings. But guess what? You will keep on suffering sexually if you don't actually speak up and request and ask for what you want from your partner, right? So have a conversation, babe. I realize that I've not really been enjoying sex lately, and it's not about what you're doing. I think it's mostly about what we are not doing, right? And I think we need to do this and that. Whatever you need, ask for it, okay? So don't be shy. All right. Okay, so the next thing that I would also talk about is that your partner does not listen to your needs. When you're having relational issues, it all boils down to relational issues, right? If that's the situation, you really see, your closed mouth is a closed heaven. No, pray about it. Pray that God soften the heart of the person. I mean, you've already married him. There's nothing you can do at this point. That God softens his heart and make him receptive to your needs, right? But don't stop asking for it. Don't stop until he listens. Don't stop asking for what you want, okay? Another reason could also be, from anxiety, right? Anxiety from your body image, how your body appears to him. A lot of people are very self-conscious about that. I used to be very, very self-conscious about a certain part of my body. And funny enough, that part of my body was also a place that, excited me, right? So it was a bit difficult for me to be able to let go. But the moment I was able to let go, it really, really tremendously helped our sex life, right? So if you're feeling kind of shame to go naked, or you want to always have the lights off and stuff like that, it's probably because you have not gotten to that place where you're totally at peace with being with each other, and you need to start cultivating their habits. Start from bathing together. Yes, you heard me right. Start from bathing together. Start from walking naked, sleeping naked, him sleeping naked and stuff, until you get comfortable with you being naked and you seeing him naked, okay? All right. The last thing I'm going to talk about is you don't like your partner. Yes, let's talk about it. A lot of people, and see, that's the thing, a lot of people fall in love, get married, and then along the way something happens. You don't feel the attraction. There's something that died in your marriage, and none of you is willing to actually come out to talk about it. Like, something is up. I don't feel attracted to you the way I was, and I think we need to work on it. I believe that every marriage gets to that point where, you have those moments, not a point, moments which could eventually ruin the marriage if you don't do something about it, right? But every marriage you have that moment where you don't feel attracted, you don't feel like and that's the thing, when you don't feel like you're valued, when you don't feel like you're not happy in the relationship, it will definitely have an effect on your sex life. So when you start to feel that way, you need to talk to your partner. So when I say you don't like him, doesn't mean that you're falling out of love, which I think that is a lot of mistake that people make. The moment you're not feeling, and whatever, instead of you to try to have a conversation, try to work on it, be like, oh, I don't love him anymore. No, love is a decision. It's not a feeling. It's not just a feeling. It's actually a decision to be with a person. So if you're not having the rush, maybe have a conversation. Maybe you guys need to take a vacation. Maybe you need to take a date, just the two of you. Travel, do something that excites you to remind you of what you used to love about him, right? So if you're not enjoying it, it could also be that you are not sexually attracted to him. And if you think that's the reason, then you two of you have a lot of work to do. Okay, anyways, that is where I'm going to end the conversation from today. For today, remember that you can have a one-on-one section with me. Just click on the link below and we can have a conversation to register. You register and then I'll reach out to you. We can have a one-on-one session with me. We can talk. If you're having issues with your sex life or your marital life generally and you feel like talking to somebody, you can talk to me and talk to me and my husband together. Whatever works for you, just let me know. Okay, thank you guys so very much for watching. Remember that you can remember to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and most importantly, share this video. When you share this video on your Instagram story, please tag me at victoria.a.fash on Instagram, and I would greatly appreciate. Okay, thank you guys so very much for watching. Until we meet again, I still remain Victoria Ayodele Fash. Have an amazing week. Okay, bye. Bye guys.